category is In the House. What's up, doll photographer and storyteller? We're here today to make sort of a dioramas, box room, doll room, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I know that a lot of people are using foam board for their dioramas or for their doll box or whatever. And I have another alternative because when I'm using it, it has this tendency to bend and it's not very useful. So I decided to go with, I don't know how to say that word, poly something. I'm just gonna make it appear in the screen. And we're gonna go for it. So let's build a house. So I place the doll in, well, on the board that I have to make some measurement. I'm using a TB League, the M32, because he is quite tall, not taller than the M36 if I remember well, but that will help me to get an average sort of measurement so I can have many dolls coming around in the apartment. The board that I'm using here and the measurement that I'm taking is to make the side walls. So before drawing a straight line, I'm making some point here and there to make sure that the adjustment and the measurement is going to be equal on every single size, on the different side. And then I'm going to use an X-Acto knife or a cutter, depending where you come from, to draw the line, and so that it will be easier for that to cut it more deeper, because the board that I'm using here is a bit thicker than the one I'm going to use for the side, for the main walls. The plan in here is to have 4 walls that will be removable, so that I can make doll photography in every single spot of the flat of the apartment. Because one of the things that I don't like about the doll photography when it comes to dioramas and doll room or doll boxes especially, you usually have 2 walls or 3 walls, but you don't see the other side, and I want to have more of a choices when it comes to my setting and my shots, so that I can actually go into every different corner of the room and not just limited by 2 or 3 walls. So the line that I draw earlier with the X-Acto knife is going to be making me easier to get really deep inside the extruded polystyrene, and I have to get back over and over again to make sure that I can have like a smooth, straight cut. And voila. I do have in the corner a little bit more of, well, not a straight cut, so I'm just gonna adjust it to make sure that it's more straight and proper. So while I'm here with this board, I am gonna cut some lines to create a brick walls, because it's gonna be way easier with that type of board, the extruded polystyrene, because you just have to draw the lines and make them, you know, appear and creating them. So it will have more depth, it will have more lightning and shadow, and it will just add some realism to the dioramas and to the walls. And this is how it looks like once it's done. So with a pencil, I'm gonna draw deeper lines so I can curve a little bit more, and that will make the brick kind of pop out a little bit more. And same with the bricks. What I didn't know at the time when I was doing it is that the bricks is gonna be a little bit too big. So I'm kind of disappointed by that. One of the tips that I'm giving you right now is to make your dolls close to the wall and take the measurement from the doll, which I didn't do here. Once it's done, I'm gonna make a bowl with foil paper, so it will add more texture to the brick. Okay, this is done. So now I'm just gonna spray one layer of a primer. So the paint that I'm gonna add later on will be easier to be fixed with the primer done. And as you can see, I am at the windows, so make sure that you have a lot of air, if I can say so, because the smell isn't gonna be good for you. While drying, I'm gonna take care of the floor. So basically I had this board of extruded polystyrene, and I'm just gonna put some glue in it and then add some sort of strip of wood to create like a parquet, or I don't know what's the word in English. You will see, and I guess you will know what I'm talking about. One of the things that I like about those boards specifically is that there is some sort of strip in it. So when you're applying the glue, you don't have to have a texture or something. It sort of makes it easier for the glue to just bound to it. And here are the strips of the wooden that I was talking earlier. So you can see that there is a board that is not perfectly glued, but that's something that I'm not going to be worried about because I'm going to flat them and I'm going to just put it under a chair to make sure that it's going to be flat, and so that it will glue more easily and have this flat floor. So for that, I'm just going to place that fabric that I have. To cover it up and to protect from potential damages, I'm going to place another board on top of that to make it flatter first, and then later on I will put it under a chair. Okay, so I'm gonna let it dry, and now I'm gonna use another panel that I have to create the walls, the main walls, if I can say so. I mean the longer one. I'm taking the measurement for the side walls because I'm gonna place a magnet and also some other stuff to make sure that it's gonna be fixed. So I'm placing on both sides, and once it's done, I'm just gonna take some measurement here. I took the side measurement, so now I'm going to use the floor measurement as well. Once it's done, I'm going to place the doll, respecting the line that I just drew because I want him to be above the floor, of course. I have some windows that I bought online, and with the dolls in the board, that's going to help me to know exactly where I want to place the windows. I trace a line around them so I will be able to know where I'm going to have to cut. and make sure that those both windows are going to be aligned. Once it's cut, I just have to make sure that the measurement fits. So for that, I'm just going to put the window in it. And yeah, that looks pretty good. Now that I have all the lines and all the measurement made and done, I'm just going to apply some glue and time to put a wallpaper in it. I know that a lot of people like to use scrapbook paper when it comes to their dioramas, but personally, when I see the price of scrapbook paper and I see the price of a wallpaper, I'd rather go straight to the wallpaper, because I don't want something that has like printed flowers or like a pattern or something. I'm just gonna go with a basic gray tone. I like to use neutral color because if you have like for example in these dioramas, I want to make sure, because I have the tendency to always have a new project, a new doll and all that stuff, and I like to keep my dioramas neutral so that will be easier to kind of mix and match. For example, if I'm just using that wall, it could be either for an apartment or for a coffee shop or whatever. So I like to keep it neutral, but that's my personal taste. So now I have to flat this and make sure that all the air bubble just leave, and for that I'm just going to press it with a ruler, so that will help me. But I'm not perfect when it comes to that, so you do you, I do me. Now I'm making the holes for the windows, so I know where I have to cut it, and it will help me also to eliminate as much as possible the bubbles that I have in the wallpaper. So there's one side that is going to be with the two windows, and there's one side that has to be with the door when he comes and go out of the apartment, you know. So before drawing the line, I'm going to make sure that, because in my head, I know that there is going to be a space. It's going to be a one flat sort of space, you know, like a one room sort of space. So the kitchen will be in the living room, and there is going to be a space for the bed. So I'm placing the kitchen already in the walls, so I know where to place the door. Then once again, trace it and cut it. Make sure that the door fits, and it's all good. So I'm not going to share again the wallpaper thing with these walls. So I'm just going to go straight to the assembly, if I can say so. I placed a magnet and one on the floor too, so that way it can make it more easy for them to stand together. And I decided to add some screw in it. I think it's screw, but that kind of makes me feel like screw up or whatever. That kind of thing that you see on the screen, right? I'm placing them so I'm going to be able to know exactly where I want it to be on the other wall. Once it's done, I'm going to use my screwdriver to make a hole and to make it deeper, because I'm going to add something else. This is one of the steps that you have when you are making like something on the walls, you know, like when you want to add some shelf or something. And I'm going to glue that inside the holes, so it will be easier for the screw to get inside of it without damaging or enlarging or whatever. And once it's done with everything in place, this is how it looks like. There is already the right space that doesn't have many decoration or whatever, but I'm just placing some stuff here and there to show you how it will look like at the end. One other thing that I love about these dioramas is, as I said, once you have been done with the dioramas or with the photography or with the photo story or whatever, you just have to take off all the furniture, remove the screw, of course, the magnet, and store it wherever you want, because it's going to be more easier for you to store them. And this is one of the things that I love about dioramas. So when I started this dioramas, I had a plan for a character, but of course that video was recorded, I think last September. I think it was September. And I had a plan, of course, at that moment, but well, few months later I came up with another plan, so the dioramas had to change to match the new ID that I have. So I kind of redecorated the apartment, so it will be shared on my Instagram page quite soon. So yeah, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like the video, because this is how you support a content creator, and this is how you can motivated me to get a little bit more inside this kind of tutorial or whatever you want to call it. So thanks again, and hope to see you soon.